I particularly like these artists' work as they all use a mix of medias. Some have crochet and beading, and others have felting and embroidery. I also added a mix of textiles, work, and garments to represent the mix I want to use for my final piece. In these photos, there are a range of bright colours, but also plain white to represent the thriving dye and coral in our reefs. I think this is important to have the mixture of colour and media as it makes the garment more interesting with more of a story. These photos are of shards of coral from in my house, and I will also visit an aquarium to take more of a range of photos. In these images, they look like a white or grey colour, which is important to note because this is the colour a coral goes when it dies. This is why it's called coral bleaching. These photos also show the many different types of coral. Although there is only two pieces of the same thing, it's incredible how they can both look so different. These tiny pieces play a huge role in our ecosystem, and it's important to look after and nurture them. On this slide, there are photos of Plymouth Aquarium and textile workshops for coral. This is because this is where I'm going to try and gather some more of my primary photos, as it is accessible and good for research. I also want to try and extend my primary research by some textile workshops to further understand and improve my skills in different techniques. I think that this will be helpful for my final garment and help me feel even more prepared. I also want to try and visit other nearby aquariums, and to also gather more photos. Here are some of my pages from my journal. As you can see, I was experimenting with the theme of growth and decay before it led me to coral. As I progress through my project, I will start to add more samples and mind maps that are more linked to my theme. I trial and errored with my mini printer, but I think it will be a lot more effective with coral rather than leaves. I also sampled some material, although if I were to do that again, I would choose a different colour scheme so then it will gather more that follows my theme clearly. For my focus artists, I choose to look at Agatha Lee and Murako Kusumoto. I really liked Agatha Lee's mixed media of machine embroidery and shibori. I think it gives her work detail and has another element of 3D to it, which is super effective. Murako Kusumoto does a similar thing as she sets her material with heat to create beautiful coral structures seamlessly with delicate material like mesh and fine cotton, so you can't see the stitches or glue and it's a clean finish. And finally, for my samples, I took inspiration from Agatha Lee's collection called Thrive. I free machine embroidered into mesh and then used the buttons and marbles under heat to set the material how I wanted it. I chose the Thrive collection because I love her multimedia in textiles and wanted to try it myself. I also made a sample on a black mesh with grey embroidery to represent the idea of decay, so I could have a mix of them in my work.